Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for another demo video, and today we are taking a look at a Synergy module. This time it is the Peavey 6505 module, a collaboration between Peavey and Synergy amps. For all those guitar parts in the song at the beginning of the video, I was running this. I had it mounted in the Syn 2 single rack space housing back there in my little Synergy rack, and you heard it plugged into their stereo 50 watt aside power amp. I was just using one side though, so mono 50 watts for all those guitar parts. I was running it into my old Marshall cab out in the other room. It's got old G12M black back speakers in it. I used to own an old Block Logo, like first gen 5150. It was a great amplifier. I gigged that amp for years. And so I have a real vivid memory of what it sounded like. I played a lot of cover gigs with the 5150 amp, and this really captures that sound. It's got a great, thick, saturated tone. I mean, you know what these amps, they've become a modern metal classic, really. And the crunch channel's no slouch. It's not just all about super thick metal, high gain. I mean, it does great rock tones as well. They've really captured like the thick, chunky nature of the amplifier, but also it's super articulate. Like on the leads that I was playing in the song at the beginning, it just like the cut in the articulation on the single notes. It's really fun to play lead with. The thick chordal thing, I mean, like when you're playing chunky stuff, it just chugs like nobody's business. Now, each of the channels in this, you can set up to be either a lead or crunch channel, so it's kind of cool. You got two position switch here, lead and crunch, same thing down here. So if you wanted to, you could have two lead channels or two crunch channels or a crunch and a lead channel or whatever you like. Controls couldn't be simpler on each channel. You got a gain, bass, middle, treble, and a master volume. So I'm going to solo a bunch of those parts outside of the mix, also play some more through it. I'm also going to use the looper in this video, I think, so that I can play a rhythm guitar loop and just let it run, and then go back there to the rack with this plugged in and turn the knobs and stuff like that. All right, let's get on with it. The 6505 module from Synergy and Peavey. So I just cut the stereo pair of dirty rhythm guitars in this track at the beginning of the video. And this is very, very satisfying to play with this sound. The gain is on 5, it's on half. Actually, you can see the setting there up on your screen of the module. It just sounds really cool. Now I wanted to show you the difference between this module and the SLO module, set kind of similar. Because I think this one sounds a little more metal and a little bit bigger in the bottom end. It's a little less classic sounding, but in a great way, like they complement each other. And I'm sure you could dial them to be closer, but all things equal, I think this one sounds a little more aggressive. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to switch over to the SLO now. So they're similar, definitely in the same sort of zone. But I mean, this one just sounds to me just really aggressively cool and great, obviously, for metal. And it's got a warmth to it too that's really nice. Like, it's not at all abrasive or fuzzy on the top end. Thanks for watching my video on the 6505 high gain super rock crunchy module from the nice folks at Synergy and Peavey. This thing sounds great. A lot of people ask me, like, which modules would you own if you just owned a couple? This is definitely a contender. You know, there's been some that I always mention over the years that I really like, the Savage, or, you know, the Deliverance, or certain ones that are kind of like alternatives, because I've got a kind of a lot of Marshall-based stuff around here, a lot of Plexi-based stuff. So having some high gain alternatives to that is really nice. But this one definitely falls under the category of something that I could see using, but I need that super thick, articulate gain that's not at all fizzy on the top end. Really kind of a unique tone, became its own thing. It's not a Marshall Plexi, it's something else. It fits the bill. Check it out further, the link down there in the video description below. You can click there, it'll take you to more info about the 6505 module. Please hit subscribe if you haven't. Hit the little bell beside the subscribe. You'll get an alert every time I put out a new video. I'm Pete Thorne. Thanks. Take care. Over and out.